Hello, everyone. Okay, tonight's live stream. I feel so much better. First off, if you checked out my live stream earlier when I was what I believe was literally melting, I swear. And yeah, and don't come for me. Seriously, don't come for me talking about, oh my God, then you're gonna complain about the cold and you can't hear. Here's the thing. I don't like either extremes. I don't like extreme fire, and I don't like extreme ice blocks. Crazy me. I'm comfortable with a temperate. I like a middle. I like a little middle thing. So I feel so much better now. Now that I've changed and relaxed a little bit. Everyone's a pack of tiny terriers, and the animal farm has been taken care of. The sun is down. Yay. So it's so much cooler. So I feel so much better. And I want to talk a little bit about some information that I sought upon. I'm a mindset coach. That's what I do. So I also believe that if you are lined up with your conscious and your subconscious, whatever you put out there energy-wise, the universe is just dying. Just cannot wait to bring it to you. It's all moving towards you. So you're going to get information that you need at the precise moment that you need it. And so tonight I was taking advantage after I did all my work and all my marketing and followed up with people I wanted to follow up on, all this fun stuff. I did some reading and some researching. And I discovered this really great mindset coach's information. I believe her name is Mandy Gibbons. It was very interesting. And she had information about how to manifest fast. And what really hooked me is she's of the same belief I am, that for people that are like, oh, I'm not manifesting, law of attraction doesn't work. Here's the thing. You are manifesting. You just might not be manifesting what you want, but you're manifesting every second. Like, you are creating your reality right now. So if you're not sure what your mindset looks like and you're not sure what you're putting out in the universe, all you have to do is look around you. You are bringing back whatever you're putting out there. You're a great man. You're an amazing manifester. Look at all this life that you've manifested. It just might not be what you want right now. So that's what you have to work through. And she was saying that her tools for how to manifest fast were to act fast. And what she means by acting fast is once you put out there, I want XYZ, I want this to happen, and you see it in your mind's eye and you're putting out what you want to happen, then you wait and listen and tune into your intuition, and that you're going to get, my dogs are going crazy. Someone's honking a horn in the middle of the night, because that's what you do in the middle of the night. But you're supposed to hone in, and you're going to either get information intuitively, or you're going to get information externally that makes you go, huh, that's weird. That's a random coincidence. Why did he say that? And you're paying attention to it, and those little links are your cues to start acting on it, and acting on it very quickly, because you know that there are signs and answers to your manifestation requests. And I love that. I was like, all right, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I like that. And then I started thinking, how does that apply to creatives? Because honestly, and I hate, it's not that creative professionals or creative entrepreneurs are some sort of alien being, because we're all humans and it all works the same way. It's just that if we, as creative entrepreneurs, our whole business is taking information and looking at it at different angles, and looking at the same input and kind of adjusting yourself so you can look at it from a different point of view and synthesize it and present it in a different point of view. So I'm always looking for information that is presented at a baseline, how a creative entrepreneur can reinterpret that with the information and the knowledge that they have. So here's the thing. As a creative entrepreneur, you tend to go with your gut a lot. That's how you create. If you're writing a story, you do some research. We'll just use an author for an example. You'll do research to make sure you can get the voice and key phrasing and understand logistics around whatever it is that you're writing, character development, etc., etc. But once you get down to the writing part, like the actual butt in chair, fingers on keyboard, writing, you're just going with it. You're in your zone, you're in your flow, you're constantly following wherever your intuition's leading because you're not overthinking it. If you're in flow, oh gosh, you guys know, when you're in your flow of doing whatever your creative expression is, oh man, it's amazing. But you're not second guessing anything. You're not overanalyzing. You're not stopping and pausing. You're in flow. And that all comes from intuition and direct channeling and manifest. You just let it happen. So creative entrepreneurs, creative people don't struggle with that part as much as people that are focused on other aspects of their brain, like linear thinking, et cetera, et cetera. So then, if that's the case, then how come sometimes as creative entrepreneurs, we are not manifesting what we want? And I think it comes down to also knowing what you deserve and fearing of your worth. I've been having amazing coaching calls. So thanks for everyone that signed up to help me with my goal of packing in a bunch of coaching calls, and it's been going swimmingly. And it's been too long since I've really worked one-on-one with a huge group of people, and I love working one-on-one with artists. I also like group stuff too, so I just want to make sure I'm getting my message out there. But a lot of the messaging that comes through is fear, and it's fear of not just failure, which is a symptom of what it comes down to is fear of self-worth and fear of self-love and fear of trusting and knowing that you are worthy of having all the amazing success and joy and abundance that is your due, that is your birthright. And that's really hard for artists to think of. We've been trained in a world that if you are a creative person, if you do anything creatively, professionally, you dance, you paint, you act, you write, you do all sorts, you make, or you're an artisan, you make amazing craft stuff. Whatever it is, we have conditioned ourselves in this time to think that you must suffer for your art. You must suffer, and therefore, and it's so hard, and you must be in pain. You're not going to be a good artist unless you're in pain, unless you're suffering, unless everything is gone to crap. Like that's pretty much the feeling of how our society views artists. That, well, you know, you have to suffer. But I'm a believer that you don't. That's not a requirement, because if you have suffered and you're using your gifts to synthesize that and process what you've been through, that's because that's a tool you already have. You're tapping into your unlimited amounts of energy and creativity and intuition to create something new, because that's part of your story and you're processing it. But it's not a requirement of being able to tap into that amazing energy. You have an abundance of creativity, and let me reassure you, no matter what point in your life you're at, even if you're like, wow, I'm happy and I'm successful and I'm abundant, you can create from there too. You can. It won't look the same as what you created before because you're coming from a different place, but you can tap into your abundant imagination and energy from any place, from anywhere you're at in your life journey, and you're just presenting what it is, like wherever you are in your journey. So I do believe that if you want to manifest fast, act fast. I like that. Follow your intuition and go with it. But what stops creative entrepreneurs and creative professionals, it's not so much the intuition part, 'cause you're already really in tune with your intuition, and you listen to your intuition and you pay attention to it, and you know what that feels like when you're in flow. But when it comes to making decisions that will benefit you and bring you success and abundance, that's where you get stopped. That's where you run up against a wall, and that's where those limiting beliefs kick in. Like, whoa, hey, where are you going with that? Like, stop right now. So that's what you have to overcome. Not so much the actual creation and the imagination part. You've got that on lock. What you're fighting is a bunch of stories that do not serve you in terms of what you're allowed to have, what you should be, what it should look like. You should do that. Anytime you say like, well, I should get a new job, anytime you hear the word should, you need to really dig into that and figure out where that voice is coming from and start working on healing and releasing it, because that's what's holding you back. It's not your ability to manifest. My goodness, of course you can manifest. If you're a creative type, I've said this before, you manifest whole worlds that didn't exist before you put your imagination to it. Whole plays, whole novels, whole artistic views, whole universes are in your mind that you have brought to fruition that didn't exist before until you started creating it and working on it. You have no problems with that imagination and creating portion of your life. It's just when you start to try to use that same skill set to benefit yourself, that's where you run into problems. So really, it's not a lack of imagination, it's not a lack of connection or a lack of intuition at all when it comes to creative entrepreneurs. It's a lack of self-love and knowing your own worth. And that is some of the saddest things that I've ever seen. And I guess that's why I do this work, because you need to figure out a way to look at yourself and love yourself fully and wholly. Your authentic self, not the nonsense that you have been trained to accept, not what you have been taught you should want for your career and your life, not trying to live in a safe way and, oh, I'm going to be creative, but I'm going to do it in this safe way. No, you have to find the way in to love yourself completely, flaws and all. Because here's the thing, and I said this to a client earlier, the ugliest parts, what you consider the ugliest parts of you, what you consider your biggest weaknesses, your biggest challenges, your biggest ugliness, whatever that is, that's where your gold is. If you start really getting down deep and daring to look at those parts of yourself, those ugly parts that you really would rather not look at, you don't even want to admit that you have, people would look badly upon you in your mind, whatever it is that you just don't feel like is enough, I challenge you to take the time through meditation, through journaling, through your creative, whatever it is, to look at those parts of you and get real and honor, love, and cherish those parts of you as well. Because once you start doing that, once you start loving the ugly parts of you, I even hate using that word because they're not ugly, they're just you. But once you start, I'm using ugly because I know that's a term that we all use for ourselves. When you get right with loving, honoring, and cherishing those parts of you too, you're gonna find a whole wealth of creative gold there that you didn't even know existed. And you're gonna be able to reconcile all aspects of you, and you're going to clear away a huge chunk that is stopping your blessings from coming to you. Because by not acknowledging those ugly parts of you, you are holding on to the story that you don't deserve abundance and love and success and joy. Every second that you can't look at the ugly parts of yourself and honor and love them just as much as everything else, Just as long as the parts of you that you don't feel are up to par, every second that you spend not loving on that part of you, not hugging it and cherishing it and saying, my God, you're amazing, every single aspects of you, every day that you do that is a day that you are denying yourself all the joy and all the abundance, and also denying the world. Because here's the thing, if you're creating, then you're sharing your stuff. If you're successful, you're sharing your stuff with the world. So you're doing all this for a story that's not even real. Do us all a favor and start figuring out how to love yourself, all parts of your story. If you've been through trauma, and this I know is a very hard thing for, especially for mindset work, because we're always hearing about don't be a victim, you're not a victim, you're not a victim. But if you've been victimized and you've been through severe trauma, and you look at that part, you can't even look at that part of yourself. You can't even reconcile that part of yourself that you feel is so ugly and you feel is broken and you feel is disgusting. You're withholding a huge, huge, huge opportunity of growth. And you're withholding this healing that you, if you look at it and come to grips with it and talk to it and really dig deep into that part of you, until you look at it and love it and hug it, until you love that part of you as well as every single other part of you. And when you get to that point, then, oh God, like you don't even know the majestic gorgeousness, beauty of your life that you will see. And I know this firsthand because I've done it myself and I've seen it with clients over and over. So I loved what she was saying. If you want to manifest fast, follow your intuition. I just don't think that creative entrepreneurs have trouble following their intuition. Like, you're well in tune with your intuition already. So if you're not manifesting fast of what you want, because I promise you, you are manifesting, and you're manifesting every second. But if you're not manifesting what you want, you have to look at the reasons why you don't think that you deserve to have whatever it is that you want. And before you come for me and say, oh, I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know what she's talking about, because I totally want $1 million. If you wanted it and you are imagining it, you would be well on the road to having it by now. But the fact that you're wondering, watching, getting triggered by what I'm saying tells me that there is something holding back all that joy and abundance. So whether or not you come drag for me will not help you in any way. So I recommend it's better to get right with yourself, look yourself in the mirror, even at the ugly parts, because I promise you those ugly parts are not ugly at all. Gosh, there's so much beauty and joy. I mean, look at all, take any creative artist that you have been inspired by. Look at all of your mentors throughout the history of your art form, whatever it is, writers, painters, crafters, whatever it is, costumers. Go through and look at their greatest works, and you will see their greatest works were born from what they consider to be their ugliest parts, and that you now consider their genius areas. I'm sure at the time that they were going through it that they hated that aspect of them. Look at your ugly parts, your shadow side, your deep down, whatever it is, and find a way to love and cherish it just as much as you value the aesthetic and the whatever society has deemed approving of at that moment. So, and if you can do that, you will manifest all the things super fast, and you will be shocked about how quickly your life will transform and change. So that is my live stream for tonight. That was a quickie one, because I'm laughing because I'm like, it got really quiet. So those with children and dogs and other critters know, well, maybe not cats, because cats are always stuffed around, but if you have children and if you have animals, when it gets too quiet is when you start to wonder, like, uh-oh, what's happening behind the door. So it got really quiet all of a sudden, so I'm a little concerned about what my critters are now doing. But I hope that helped, and I'm going to be using this for myself because I had a really cool idea. I don't want to give too much about it because I'm still trying to gather all the pieces to it, but it's something that's been rolling around in my mind for years, and someone brought it up again after I did this meditation. I'm like, okay, I'll take that as a sign that I should delve into it. So I'm just going to trust that the right people reach out to me, and I will stumble upon the right people to make this idea come to fruition. So I'm going to go back and keep thinking about that, and I hope you're all having a delightful, delightful evening. As usual, if you have any topics that you'd like me to touch on, if you have any questions around mindset and also creativity and being a creative entrepreneur, I am more than happy to take this in. I'm like I said before, I'm loving doing the one-on-one work with people. So yeah, hit me up, take advantage of it, and I'm happy to answer your questions. So until next time, have a wonderful evening, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.